Hey, open any JavaScript file you wrote 6 months ago and tell me how many where keywords do you see. If your answer is more than 0, this video will save you from bugs you haven't found yet. Because where is not just old syntax, it is a reliability problem. And the moment you understand let and const the right way, your React code becomes predictable, clean, and professional. So let's build that foundation right now. Welcome to the React Hooks Masterclass. I'm Krunal, and this is episode 1 about JavaScript Essentials on Purple Skill. Understand one thing, 80% of React mistakes are JavaScript mistakes. Yes, they are not React mistakes, they are JavaScript mistakes. So before we write a single line of use state, use effect, or use reducer, we are going to make your JavaScript bulletproof. Let me show you a real scenario. Imagine you are building a React feature and you are going to write this loop. Look at the code, it is a very simple loop. It runs 3 times and each time it fires a timer. Timer waits for 1 second and then runs a callback function. So this is a classic pattern, right? And you have seen this 100 times. So now here in this code, we declare I with where keyword. And you can see inside the callback function, we just log I. Pretty simple, right? Can you guess the output? You can see here the answer is 3. Yes, the answer is 333, not 012. Can you guess why? I will show you exactly why. We need to see what where actually does. Look at this diagram. I have set variable I, which keeps on increasing from 0 to 3, but for first second, my callback functions are not triggered. And meanwhile, the value of I has reached to 3. So now here you can see when my callback 1, callback 2, callback 3. So 3 times my callback functions are triggered. They all are pointing to the same I, which is 3. And that's why we are expecting 0, 1, 2, but we get 3, 3, 3. I hope this gives you clarity. Now here we swap where for let keyword. Just one word and that's the fix. Watch what changes. Here, let creates a brand new I for each iteration of the loop. It is like callback 1 captures its own I equal to 0, callback 2 captures its own I equal to 1, and callback 3 captures its own I equal to 2. Completely separate. So when the timers fire, we get 0, 1, 2. Exactly what we have expected. One word change, that is let instead of where, and that's the fix. So here you can see on this screen that when we change where keyword with the let keyword, when we replace where keyword with the let keyword, each callback function has its own I. So here it is considered as a block scope. But with the where, it is considered as a function scope. So here with the let, we get the expected output. So if we see here, like when we work with the where, it shares the variable value, but with the let, it isolates the value of the variable. Each callback owns its own I with let, but with where, we have separate I. So point to remember, where shares, let isolates. So here I told you that let is the block scope. So what is block? A block is anything between curly braces, which includes if statements, for loop, while loops, function bodies, even standalone curly brace blocks. And let stays inside its block. It cannot leak out. Watch out this code now. Here you can see I am declaring var name equal to Krunal. This is my curly bracket, this is my block. And outside the block, I am printing that name. And you can see I get the value here. That means the value is leaked out. But if I replace this code with the new code here, and here I replace var with the let, and this time you can see I am getting a reference error like CT is not defined. So the value of the variable stayed inside. I hope it's clear, friends, right? That containment, that predictability is exactly what React components needed. When you define a variable inside a use effect or inside a function or inside a conditional, you want it contained. You don't want it floating into places it shouldn't be. Let gives you control, where takes it away. All right, now let's talk about const. And I need to clear up something right now, friends. Const does not mean the value is immutable. Const means the binding is immutable. These are not the same thing. Value and bindings are not the same thing. Let me show you. Here I declare the variable age with const, which is 25. And now I reassign the value to the same variable, age is 26. So if I run it, you can see we get an error. Assignment to const variable. That makes sense. You cannot reassign a number, fine. But now watch out this code block. I create one object with const. The object name is person. We have two attributes, name and age. The default value for age is 25. And now here in this line, I am assigning a new value 26. And you can see, surprisingly, this works. So my new object is now name is Krunal and age is 26. While here the object change even though we use const. So let me quickly draw one mental model to explain you this. So let us understand it through this diagram. Const puts a padlock on the arrow. The person variable will always point to the same object in the memory. You cannot make person point to a different object, but the content of that object is totally changeable. Same with arrays. So here you can see I have an array called skills which is also declared with const. I have two elements into this array, React and Python. And I can push new element also, and that works perfectly without any error. But you can see here, if I try to move the arrow to the new array, it will throw an error. So now the question is, why does this matter for React? And this is why in React, the useState hook works the way it does. That const tells you like this binding. This array destructuring will always point to the same pair, but the set count will update the actual value. The arrow stays, but the content changes. Later on, we are going to understand the array destructuring in detail, and we are also going to understand useState hook. We will take a deep dive on the hooks. So I hope this is clear, like what is the const keyword and how it works internally. This next section is for everyone who wants to level up. It is called the temporal dead zone, with where we get the hoisting. That means JavaScript moves the variable declaration to the top, initializes it as undefined. So that console.log runs and we get no error. But now with let and const, the variable is in the scope. It was hoisted, but it is in the temporal dead zone. It cannot be accessed until the declaration line is reached. So the TDZ is the gap between the start of the scope and the declaration line. And why does this matter in React, friends? The number one, if you write complex use effect logic with variables declared mid-function, you can accidentally hit TDZ and get cryptic errors. Number two, TypeScript React code bases have ES-linked rules that flag TDZ violations. And understanding why the linter is angry saves you hours. So the rule is always declare your variables before you use them. And let and const enforce this rule. Where lets you cheat. And that cheat cost you later, friends. Alright, now it is the decision time. And here is my personal framework that I always use. I always ask three questions. Question 1. Will this value to be reassigned? Yes, then go for let. No, then go for const. Question 2. Is this a configuration value? For example, API endpoints, color codes, or timeout values? Then always go for const. And third, is this a loop counter or accumulator? Then always go for let. Here is my actual default. Start every variable as const. And if you get a reassignment error, then switch it to let. And that one habit forces you to be intentional about every mutation in your code. So const is everywhere and let only where mutation is intentional. This is the professional standard. So I hope you understand what is where, what is let, what is const, and what is TDZ. So stay tuned and watch out for the next episode. We are going to discuss about rest operator, spread operator, and object and array destructuring. This is Purple Skill and you are watching me, Krunal, here on Purple Skill. If you want to understand Python as well as AI and agentic AI, check out my master classes which are already available free here on Purple Skill.